Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to today's new moon readings. This is one very powerful new moon. I'm also going to give you a lunar energy update through the month and give you just a heads up on the kind of energy that's coming in, and it is quite an intense month, so starting with a very intense new moon actually, but we are going to see quite a big energy shift as we move through the month. So if you want to tune in with that, please do so. If you just want to go straight to the readings, I will put the timestamps in the description below and in a comment, so you'll be able to find them really easily. If you were just drawn to this video for the readings only, just scroll down, find those timestamps and move to the readings, either the cards or indeed if you already know from the thumbnail which of the readings you were drawn to, you can just find that reading. Now, before I move into the energy update for the month, I just want to say thank you so much, all of you, for your wonderful, warm, loving, kind messages. For those of you, if you're new to the channel and you're watching this, my mum passed over, and so many of you sent such lovely messages. I am very much looking after myself. I'm actually really enjoying doing the readings. If I feel I need to take time out, I will do so. But right now, coming into my lovely little workspace, which is so full of light, it feels very connected actually. She feels very present and around, and I just feel very blessed to be here and doing the readings and doing what I do. If I need time out, I will take time out, and thank you for your love and your support. Right now, I'm feeling very okay coming in and doing the readings. In fact, I'm really enjoying being in this space. There are lots of things that I'm putting down, but this is at the moment something that I'm feeling really centered in doing. So thank you so much for all of your love. Now, we have had a pretty intense month actually. We had some of the hugest void of course periods at the moment during July and also during August. We have what is so unusual, very rare, a very rare series of void of course periods. Now, a void of course moon is measured from the time when, let's say the moon is passing through a particular zodiac sign. She also connects to the incoming astrological energy from other planets at the point when she kind of disconnects from everything and then moves gently through until she reaches the next sign. That's what we call the void of course period. And it kind of means her energy is unencumbered. It's not attached to anything. And it means the energy is very pure, the lunar energy at that moment. It was very interesting. My mum actually passed through during one of the really huge and unprecedented and really rare void of course periods, which kind of didn't surprise me actually. And she went, I would also say, very peacefully. Thank you so much again for all your, wonderful wishes. So August does see some huge void of course periods, not quite as many as we had in July, but still quite a lot. And if you're on my mailing list, any of my mailing lists, I will send those void of course dates out to you, so you'll receive them. And we do have, I would say, for the first half of this moon month, if we think of a moon month, that it begins with the new moon and carries through to the next new moon. So it doesn't necessarily align with the calendar months, because the moon is 29, a moon's monthly cycle is 29.5 days approximately. So it doesn't align with a calendar month. Sometimes, you'll get a new moon around the first of the month, but, gradually that will shift and change. So we begin our new moon month, and we have quite an intense new moon. And I think it is really worth remembering. A new moon is a time when we set wishes and intentions. The energy of a new moon, it's like a sacred marriage, because it's the time when the sun and the moon sit together. So you have the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together, which is why it's like this point of conception. And that's why it's primed for new beginnings. But this new moon is really intense. And I think it's really important for us to be conscious of how we actually invest our energy, our thoughts, our intentions. Science tells us that thoughts create things. So what we are focusing on, especially on the day of the new moon, around that time, we're really putting sort of turbocharged energy into the universe, into the world. So holding the higher intention, the higher perspective, the higher vibration of any wishes and intentions. You know, if there's sort of some sort of difficulty going on in the world that you are not comfortable with, then hold a wish and an intention for the solution that you desire, the higher minded solution, the high vibrational solution. You know, if there's conflict and you want peace, then focus on peace. Really center yourself, because this is a powerful moon with a lot of potentially sort of underlying undercurrents astrologically that are potentially discordant, potentially difficult. We have a choice. We can choose to sit in the higher vibration. So I would really sort of put that out there. So anyway, let's just, let me shift the camera over, and I'm going to bring up my sort of monthly lunar energy report, and we'll go through it, and then we'll move into the readings. As I've already said, you're really welcome just to ping straight through to the readings if you want. I'm also going to put dates. I always put the dates next to the timestamps for each of the moon phases. So if you find during the moon month that you're having a major wobble, or something happens that feels a little bit unexpected, because things are very changeable at the moment. If you find that you're having a bit of a wobble, come back to this video, bookmark the page, scroll down and look at the dates, find the date that you're having the wobble on, and check in with the energy update at that time. You might find it really helpful, not least because you'll know that it's going to pass, because you can then move on and see what's coming next. So hopefully this level of awareness of the energy will be helpful to you. So let me bring that up onto the screen. Okay, so these are the dates. Now we're moving from July into August because, as I said, a moon month does not sit with the calendar month. It's a very different sort of alignment, really. Now let me move forward. So these are all of the void of course moons. Some of them are really big. I mean, the first one on August that I've listed in August the 6th, is 31 hours. I mean, this is huge. This is genuinely a really unprecedented time. Most of the time, void of course moons, occasionally we get one that's maybe 10 to 15 hours long, but they're occasional. Usually they're maybe 6 hours, 7 hours, or even just an hour. But we've got huge void of course periods going on, whilst there is also so many other major astrological events taking place. So if this is a list that's helpful to you, make sure you're on my mailing list. I will be sending it out. This is a list of key dates. I'll also be sending these out as well. Now I should also add that we are now, at the time of this new moon, we are now in a Mercury retrograde period as well, just to potentially add a little bit more, I won't say upheaval as such, but if you think about Mercury retrograde periods as sometimes kind of causing delays, hiccups, the purpose of this, because there is a higher purpose, is to slow us down. And Mercury in retrograde also asks us to evaluate and review. So remember, whatever is taking place, whatever we are seeing in the world, whether it's personally or globally, if there are things that we're not comfortable with, the energy is inviting us to observe and notice, and then become very focused on what we do want rather than what we don't, and really hold that power of personal intent. So let's look at the new moon. Now, depending on where you are on our beautiful planet, this new moon, which is in Leo, will be on either July the 24th or the 25th. Now, Mercury is also retrograde in Leo. And so this sometimes suggests sort of family things going on. And remember, with Mercury in retrograde, things may need to be reviewed. Now, as I said earlier, this is one seriously intense new moon. The discordant energy of the build-up as well, because there is quite a build-up to this new moon, is added to by some further extremely strong dynamics. And this can suggest the possibility of power struggles driven by ego rather than soul. On the other hand, an equally strong set of dynamics also emerges, bringing a flow of really powerful and positive energy. And this is going to support the emergence of new structures that are rooted in higher-minded values. And these are the kind of values that honour the collective good of the whole, bringing new ways of seeing, being and doing. So there's real possibility. It's kind of like challenges are there to help us to identify what needs to be doing. And we can all hold our intent on this day. Now, the challenge with these kinds of opposite energetics is that there is the potential for events to surface through division. And so this will be a really interesting time. The key to success sits in personal self-responsibility. How we each respond to the dynamics of the day is a personal choice. So be very, very conscious of this. I'm going to bring up the timings for you. Now, the reason we look very specifically at the timings around a new moon is because if we think of that, the new moon as that sacred marriage, the point of greatest potency is when the moon and the sun come together. So the exact time and for the 8 hours afterwards is when the energy is at its most powerful in terms of enhancing our wishes and intentions. So if you look at these timings across the globe, hopefully there are enough places here for you to work out the timing in your location. The key here is to really give your full focus to what you want to see in the world. Hold that higher intent and open yourself as well to receive guidance so that you can be shown what you can do, what we can each do to step into our personal fullest potential to move forwards into, I guess, what will be the new age and the dawning of a new humanity, where we can genuinely learn to live differently and respond to one another differently and respond to our beautiful planet differently as well, to all of life. So that is our new moon in Leo. Let's look at the next moon phase. So the moon then moves into her waxing crescent moon phase. This runs from July the 25th to the 31st. This is universal timings, UTC time. She will pass through Leo, Virgo, Libra and into Scorpio. Now this moon phase gets off to a very strong start, and it's the same polarities of energy that were present at the new moon are still here. The highest perspective and evolutionary purpose of this is to release old patterns of division and to create new systems and structures that honour balance, fairness and equality. The lunar influence suggests the potential for some quite intense communications. But providing communications take place with mindful awareness, we might see some really beneficial results. And remember, Mercury is in retrograde, so there is opportunity for a lot of reflection. With the Mercury retrograde energy, if we go with it and we work with it, there should be ample opportunity for review, evaluation, to see what serves us, what no longer serves us, and to really think about how we approach this. Take the slow, windy road rather than the direct one. Now, there is then a very definite shift in the energy, suggesting opportunities to persevere and to work things through. So this is fabulous. This moon phase is sort of almost divided into two. And this is also supported by this real flavour of fate and destiny, bringing just what you need at exactly the right time. It's almost as though if we review, the universe then steps in to assist our progress, to help us to shift things. The lunar influence then enters a much more flowing period, suggesting the potential for valuable collaborations and possible breakthrough moments and genuine progression. So it's quite an interesting moon phase, it's really effectively kind of, a few days. It's about a week, 25th to the 31st. But wow, intense to start with, but a lot of potential if we really understand how to use the energy. And we always have that personal choice. The moon then reaches her first quarter position. This is on August the 1st, and this is in Scorpio. This is a really interesting day. The energy today is really kind of up and down. So it's going to be a fascinating day and really worthy of being aware of how this is likely to be, and to notice, become very present and sort of almost become your witness self and observe both yourself and what is going on around you. So this first quarter moon firstly aligns with the earth festivals of Lammas in the northern hemisphere and Imbolc in the southern hemisphere. Both are festivals of harvest and fertility, so this brings the potential for very positive outcomes. However, today does feel a bit like 4 seasons in one day, with a whirlwind of different energetics taking place, and with an emphasis on relationships and communications that promote healing and expansion. Now, a first quarter moon always calls for evaluation, highlighting anything that needs addressing to clear the way and move forward. So, given the variable nature of the energy today, if something unexpected comes to light or it arrives amid frustrations or feelings that have not been previously acknowledged or spoken out loud, it may be that something really needs to be heard in order to make way for a fruitful outcome. But try to be quite thoughtful, be the witness self. If we think as well about the earth festivals of Lammas and also Imbolc, the earth festivals are significant turning points in the earth's calendar. It's almost as though the earth herself pauses for breath. So not only do we have the kind of evaluating that goes on with the first quarter moon energy, but we have a much bigger evaluation and an opportunity to really shift into almost like a new chapter. So really be thoughtful of this energy. If anything is showing up that feels discordant, it's arriving with purpose. Be an observer, be the witness self, and think very consciously about what you can do, because the energy is really going to support you in moving through and beyond things. You know, this is actually a very, very valuable day if we can pause and listen and really hold a mindful position. Now the moon then moves into her waxing gibbous moon phase. This is from August the 2nd to the 8th. She's going to pass through Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and then into Aquarius. Now, as we enter this moon phase, the whirlwind energy of the first quarter moon position lifts, and there is a distinct flavour of, it's like wanting to get up and get going. You might even feel a desire to break free from limiting or restricting situations. So I would say, however you experience this time, use it well. You know, although relaxation is always valuable because, you know, there is a shift in the energy, we might just want to sit back and pause and take a breath. But you know what? To do little at this time would almost seem like a waste of time, because there's real potential to create shifts and changes. Now, towards the end of this period, the energy intensifies. The moon is getting bigger and bigger. She's moving from the first quarter to her full position. However, curiously enough, this only seems to increase the drive to take action and to move forwards. So, you know, this is really good energy to use if you want to make things happen. Now, if you're experiencing any kind of underlying discord during this moon phase, then listen up, because you may need to take some form of action to shift this, and the energy is primed to assist you. So anything that's not sitting well, it's probably calling you to take some form of action, possibly in quite a practical way, to move something ahead. Again, always listen, be your witness self, hold the eagle's perch position, really observe and notice. Be the witness self, notice your own experience. You know, this is a major key to being able to live consciously and with awareness. And when you understand the energy on top of that, you know, this is a very empowered way of living. The moon is a great blessing when we really understand the incoming energy and how we can use it. Now the moon then reaches her full position. This is a full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th. Now this beautiful moon arrives amidst a powerful and particularly auspicious astrological set of collaborations, so pretty cool. However, right at the centre of these dynamics, we do see a potential element of challenge. It's almost as if the universe is offering us something that creates tension in order to then give us the impetus to drive forwards and do what we need to do to get going, to persevere and to get to the finish line, or at the very least to get really clear in our vision of what we're aiming for, so we can hold our intent and see it through to completion. So very, very interesting dynamics. Now, how this dynamic set of energies will affect us each personally will be interesting to see. It may not be the calmest of days today, but I think the outcomes can be really, really productive. Now, remember, the full moon is also always associated with heightened emotions, heightened emotionality. We can also use the energy of the full moon for ceremonies of release and also ceremonies of enlightenment. If you need to get clear, you can really open yourself to receive guidance. And in beautiful Aquarius, guidance of a higher perspective, higher minded information that help us to understand where we sit and our contribution in the greater collective and in the greater whole. Let me bring up the timings for you. Now, the timings are really valuable to be conscious of, because if you want to do a ceremony of release, it's really valuable to align with these timings. I often find if I'm really sort of still, I can feel that point of release. You can feel the build up and then the point when the moon reaches her peak, and then it's almost like you can sort of breathe out. So literally ceremonies that enable you to really notice, observe, decide what you need to let go of, or indeed to seek illumination. This can be the light bulb moment if you're opening yourself to receive guidance. So really tune in with these timings and check out where this sort of peak moment will be, on your part of our, in your geographical point on our beautiful planet. The moon then moves into her disseminating or waning gibbous moon phase. This is from August the 10th to the 15th, and she's going to pass through Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and into Taurus. Now, this waxing gibbous moon phase embodies the very essence of productivity and emergence. So yay, this is fantastic. Let's go for it. Wherever you are at, and whatever you are currently manifesting in a year that demands the release of the old and the building of the new, in no uncertain terms, this moon time feels as though the universe is backing optimum growth and productivity and movement forwards. And despite her diminishing strength, because when the moon moves into her waning period, she's getting smaller and smaller, the lunar influence really does promise pockets of energy to help to bring focus and to support you in maintaining your momentum. Also on the 11th, Mercury stations direct. So even though we've still got some Mercury retrograde energy in the shadow period, when any of the planets are stationing direct at that turning point, the energy is really intensified. So you might find around the 11th that there's a really significant review, but with opportunity to then take real action in moving something forwards. Now, this is a time when you may begin to feel and be shown the potentials that are possible for you in the coming eclipse season. Eclipse season is very, very powerful. We are heading in that direction, and eclipse season kind of opens portals between the past, the present, and the future. We can see how the past has influenced where we are today and our reality in our 3D world. It also shows us what we can do in the here and now to kind of change the shape of the future, to really influence that, to be a co-creative partner with the universe, with source, with spirit. So I would say in this moon phase, be productive, get in the flow, but also remain present enough so that you can observe any signs and synchronicities that arrive to bring you guidance. A beautiful moon then reaches her last quarter position. This is on August the 16th in Taurus. Now, the overall astrodynamics at this moon time are creating like a flow of movement and productivity at a sort of steady pace. Very much slow and steady wins the race. And the underlying energetics today are strong and yet also really positive. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that your world will be absolutely perfect or everything's going to be surging forwards at an ultra fast pace. In fact, far from it. The last moon phase has been suggesting the kind of steady progression that can be built through, it's like building genuine sustainability for the longer term future. So we're looking ahead and almost like building foundations for the future that we wish to create, not only for ourselves, but if we're really holding the higher perspective, for generations yet to come. Now, a last quarter moon naturally invites internal reflection and evaluation, and we're still in the Mercury retrograde shadow. Today, the lunar influence collaborates with quite a sparky electrical kind of energy. So you could actually get light bulb moments and unexpected ideas and solutions. So this is really a fantastic day to just slow down. Open yourself to receive creative insights and just allow them to arrive, because this is really going to fuel your own unfolding progress and help you to stay on track. The moon then reaches the final phase in this moon month, which is the balsamic moon or waning crescent moon phase. This is from August the 17th to the 22nd. She's going to pass through Gemini, Cancer and Leo. Now, overall, the energetics of this moon phase are actually rather lovely, with a largely positive and helpful kind of vibe about them. The moon herself does trigger some pockets of greater intensity along the way. She's going to pass some of the planetary dynamics and sort of connect in, but her energy is softening. So this is actually quite helpful. And these pockets are relatively short-lived and reasonably well spaced out, with plenty of flow in between. So whatever is unfolding in your life at this time, seize the moment and make the absolute best of the energy that is available, and use the pockets of greater intensity as an opportunity to evaluate, maybe to course correct or tweak your direction or your perspectives, whatever's needed. Perhaps you may need to see something more clearly before making adjustments, or you might need to change your perspectives, or to initiate some sort of change, or to expand your horizons, or maybe some cleansing and healing may be needed, or will help to bring greater balance into your life. But if you think about these little pockets of intensity as moments that our beautiful moon is sending you in order to review and evaluate, and then to sort of rebalance, then you're really, really going to be on track. So, my beautiful souls, we then actually reach a new moon, which is the start of a new moon month. Let me bring this onto the screen. So the next new moon will be on August the 22nd or 23rd, depending on where you are on our beautiful planet, and this will be in Virgo. Let me now bring me back onto the screen. I'm just going to touch base with you again, and then I'm going to draw the cards for our readings and move into the readings. Beautiful souls, I hope that's been really, really helpful to you. If you want to bookmark the page and come back and check out the timestamps at any time during this moon month, please do so. I kind of feel like we can almost divide this moon month in half. I think there's some pretty intense energy to start with, to be honest. How we manage that, how we navigate this, is really down to us sort of almost... I kind of want to tune into the idea of self-mastery, which I think is what becoming a new human being in many ways is about. Self-mastery means that we really, we cease to be reactive. We become an observer of our own experiences. We are aware of ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And when we look after all of those areas of ourselves, we take personal responsibility for our own well-being, and we think very carefully about how we respond to whatever is going on. We have, no control over anyone else, but we do have control or a say over how we choose to respond in any particular situation. And I think this is really a very big step towards elevating the overall consciousness of humanity to these higher levels of living, of being, recognizing that everything we each do individually plays a part in the whole. If you look after yourself and you look after your world with conscious awareness, your world is also then going to be looking after you. It's a reciprocal arrangement. The more as a collective humanity we operate and live through respect and kindness and compassion and self-responsibility, we take what we need rather than more than we need, and this is going to begin to shift and change things. And yes, there's a lot of work to do. Every one of us can do that work because change starts within us. So have an amazing moon month, very much divided into half. I think quite a lot of intensity in the first part, but I think with this sort of lunar energy, our beautiful grandmother moon, coming in to really, really support us in seeing what we need to see to create shifts and move forwards within our own growth, and also to recognize we have an impact on the whole. So pretty powerful moon month, but really, really, really valuable, and pretty amazing, to be honest. But then life is amazing, isn't it? Not always easy, but it is amazing. Whatever is going on, we have a choice. We can learn and we can grow every second, every minute, every second of our lives. We can be growing and evolving in a really amazing way. So beautiful souls, it's a great honour to be here tuning in with you. Thank you for joining me. I'm now going to move on, draw the cards for our readings, and we will do new moon readings and see what messages come through for you. Tons and tons of love, and thank you again for all the love you've been sending through to me. Hey, Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to the readings. Beautiful souls, we have 3 wonderful cards to choose from, 3 wonderful crystals. Now, if you have skipped the first part of this video and the moon month energy update, or you've come to this at a later date and you've just come straight to the readings, welcome back if you're returning, welcome if you're new. Thank you so much for being here. If you have listened to the moon energy update, I hope you found it helpful and enjoyable. Now, because this is quite an intense new moon, we're actually asking, what is the universe trying to tell you? This is the theme and the question that we're asking with these new moon readings. Now, whether you are watching this now, or I will say even in a month's time, a year's time, a week's time, these are timeless readings in many ways. Any pick a card reading, if you are drawn to it, or it randomly pops up in your stream and you think, actually, I feel a pull to that, it will almost certainly mean there is a message for you. Beautiful souls, if you're drawn to more than one card, or one card and one crystal, or more than one pile altogether, it quite probably means there is more than one reading here for you as well, more than one message. Now let me show you the cards and the crystals in more detail. So pile 1, you have Star Family. This is the card. You are part of a team of souls. Call in support. Amazing. And you have the crystal of amethyst. This is an amethyst point. Okay. So that is pile 1. Pile 2, you have weight of the world, boundaries, let it go, it's not yours to carry. This is pile 2. And pile 2 is sitting with carnelian. This is a piece of raw carnelian as it comes out of our beautiful Mother Earth. Lovely, lovely crystal. Lovely energy. That is pile 2. And pile 3 is the card of the messenger. Sirius energy, bringing harmony and balance. Beautiful energy. And this is sitting with a piece of blue calcite. This is what this looks like. Okay, so that is pile 3. Now, beautiful souls, I am going to leave the video running for you a little bit longer. Take as long as you need. You can press the pause button if you need even longer. I will see you in the readings in just a moment, and we will find out what is the universe trying to tell you at this very moment in time when you have come to these readings. Beautiful souls, see you in a moment. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. What is the universe trying to tell you? Let's find out. Now, I'm going to draw your oracle cards first before I say too much, but this is a really powerful card, Star Family, and you have the healing energy of amethyst. This is a master crystal, so really, really quite an extraordinary energy actually coming in. seeing this one. I'm also seeing this one in here. And also like there's one just right in there looking at me. Let's look at your oracle cards first, and then we'll draw your tarot cards. So we have Owl Magic. Choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. We have enlightenment. Okay, we have service. And we have self-worth. Okay, what is the universe trying to tell you? This is very, very interesting. I feel like maybe you have had a soul contract with someone. Now this card can indicate, because it's your star family, this card can indicate that somebody you have reincarnated at the same time as someone else in order to do something, to come together and do something. I almost sort of see though here somebody, it looks like she's almost on her deathbed service, and we have these two people here. Now, I actually think something may be passing out of your life. I don't actually think it is necessarily a person. I think it's something to do with your own self-belief and your own self-worth, or your own entitlement to have a voice, to be seen, to be heard. Choose to know the truth because you can. It's like owning your truth, owning who you are, seeing through deception. This is like this massive opening up of something. And I think with the amethyst energy, this is about you healing you, or circumstances around you healing you. The enlightenment card is a card that really says, right here and right now, it's the journey that's important, not the destination. There's something that is being lifted, shown to you. Now, how does it connect with your star family? With your star family, this is interesting. Because with your star family, it very often indicates that you have, you either have met someone recently who is literally a star soulmate, or you're about to. Maybe there's even a realization that someone you actually already know is part of your star family. When you just know at a core level of depth, it's like you just know someone, you meet them and it's like you've known them forever. There's something in this reading about you, someone, or even people, maybe some of you are starting to bring into your world, like your tribe, your spiritual tribe. Maybe if you grew up in a family where you were a bit of a square peg in a round hole, I think that's now shifting. It's like you're no longer bound by something. I feel something is being lifted from you. You're seeing the truth of something. Maybe it is like seeing the truth of who you are. And because you're no longer bound by something, it means you can bring into your world kind of almost like all of the right people at the right time. What is the universe trying to tell you? I think the universe is trying to tell you that you don't have to live through the lens of something that has held you back. Let's draw your tarot cards and get more information for you. May we kindly ask, what is the universe trying to tell pile 1? What is the universe trying to tell my beautiful pile 1s? What is the universe trying to tell my beautiful pile 1s? Gosh, lots of cards coming through for you. And this one too. Okay, let's see what we have. So you have the 10 of arrows. Okay, so this is the 10 of swords. So this is the ending of something. But look how a family are coming together. If there is a family situation going on around you, because it looks like we have a family here, several generations. I wonder if some of you have been healing generational trauma, and it's left you feeling in a place where you feel like you haven't been good enough, or maybe you've been carrying the legacy of history, really, that's been passed from generation to generation. We then have the exemplar of arrows. We have the Hanged Man, which is the card of vision. But look at the reflection. Look at the way she looks at her reflection in the pool. I don't think you have to be stuck or held back by something anymore. This is all about vision. It's about seeing. Look at the owls. Owls can see in the dark. They see through the shadows. You have the 5 of pipes. You have the 2 of bowls. You have the Judgment card of discernment. You have ecstasy, the card of lovers. You have 9 of bowls, and you have apprentice of pipes. Wowza. Okay, the apprentice of pipes is the page of wands. The 9 of bowls is the 9 of cups in a traditional card. Ecstasy is the card of the lovers. The card of discernment is judgment. 2 of cups. Wow, 2 of cups and 9 of cups. You know, and the 5 of wands as well. This is a beautiful, beautiful story unfolding. The exemplar of arrows as well. This is the Queen of, I think this is the Queen of Swords. And look at the buffalo here. The buffalo skull, which connects us to abundance. It connects us to, it connects us to abundance. It connects us to, I'm going to say joy, actually. I'm seeing something return to you. If any of you, you're part of a team of souls, if any of you have either experienced a trauma at some point in your life, I'm going to put my therapy hat on, and I'm just going to sort of use some different language around stuff. So, when we think about therapy, we have, when people in everyday life, if you kind of have a major crisis, it's, we kind of refer to it as having a breakdown. And we fall apart. I've fallen apart, or whatever that is. I think in shamanic ways, we talk about soul loss, and it's actually the same. What I've learned and experienced within shamanic ways is they're very, very similar to sort of psychotherapy. It's just that we use a slightly different language, and I feel there's been soul loss. I feel that you are going to almost like return to a place of being a child, something you lost as a child that impacted on your self-worth and your self-belief. And that could be you lost it as a child because of generational trauma. It is to be returned to you. And this is what the universe is trying to tell you. So there'll be circumstances going on around you that are letting you know that the story or the lens through which you saw yourself was incorrect, or that or experiences are going to be coming into you. I think you may well just be shown something. You're being shown information. Some of you may even get a vision, but you're literally being shown information so that you can understand kind of what's happened and how it's impacted on you. Now, the purpose isn't to dwell on the past. It's so you have clarity with the exemplar of arrows. The Queen of Swords, because that's what this card is. The Queen of Swords in a traditional pack. She has crystal clear vision. She's not overloaded by emotions. Now, we always need a balance of emotions and the mind, but nevertheless, sometimes if there's a lot of emotionality around something that has happened to you, sometimes we need to sort of put that down and put our thinking hat on so that we bring our emotions back into balance. Now, the Two of Bowls, the Two of Cups, is a card of love. And you have the Lovers, and you also have the Nine of Cups, where we're seeing you sail off into the sunset, literally sailing off into this sort of rainbow island, ecstasy, joy. I think there is either someone in your life who is going to arrive or has arrived at a level of soul contract to help you in this moment to reclaim something you lost as a child, or someone is about to arrive to help you to reclaim it, whether it's someone you know and you see them differently, or it's somebody new coming into your life. There's a soul contract coming in here to help you to see with absolute clarity what's going on and to reclaim the part of you that you had lost. Really interesting, we have the buffalo skull here, which also speaks of like the our ancestors. So I do feel. And then we have another buffalo showing up in judgment. There's also a lot of permission giving here in terms of you choosing. I want to say choosing who you hang out with. 10 of Arrows. I feel there's a completion, a healing, and decisions are now being made by you on who you have in your life and who you don't have in your life. I'm really seeing you sail off. This is like choosing your tribe and the right people coming in. So I think you're only going to be hanging out from henceforth with people who support you and elevate you and people who see you for who you really are. Something is to be healed here. So something of a soul fragment is to be returned to you. If there was anything that was fragmented due to trauma, if you have carried generational trauma, this is all to be healed. And you're to really, really see with great clarity what has gone on. You're being shown stuff, generational stuff, I think, or stuff that has happened within your lifetime, within your family. And this is what this new moon is. This is what the spirit source, the universe, is trying to tell you, that the events and the circumstances around you at the moment are showing you where this has come from, so that you can put it down. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. I mean, I think that's stunning. So this is actually your message. This is what the universe is trying to tell you. The universe is telling you that this is done and dusted. It's over. Something is departing from your life. Something that you felt tied to or obligated to, but in perhaps in the wrong kind of way, like emotionally tied to. And now you have the right to choose. You can choose joy, and people are coming in, or a person is coming in. It could literally be a collective group of people that you align with, or it could be, it could be a collective group of people that you align with, or it could be a soulmate, a soul friend. You are bringing in the right people. The people are coming in who are, in a way, they contain elements of the same soul as you. So you're really, really resonating. The right people are coming in, and it kind of helps you to really put, if you were a square peg in a round hole, it helps you to put all that behind you. It's no longer yours to carry. There's a huge, huge shift here. I'm just going to draw from another pack and just see how this pans out. Could we ask, this is a seriously big new moon. May we just ask a little bit more information? I will be doing big readings for the coming month ahead as well, and my all zodiac sign readings too, so do check those out. Look at that, you have King of Swords. I feel this is somebody who is resolute. It's like you are going to be so crystal clear on what has tangled you up in the past, and it brings a new beginning. Yeah, if you have been bound by what I would call, by fog, fear, obligation or guilt, that is to be removed. You're going to see something so clearly, and because you see it clearly, it creates a space of new beginnings for you. I mean, the Fool is literally an opportunity for your soul to return to a place of childlike purity, not naivety. You're not naive anymore. You've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. So you're not naive. You're not gullible. You have awareness, you have strength of character and strength of mind. But the difference is you also return to a purity. I think some element of challenge has completed, and you are, it's like having soul fragments that you know, dispersed many years ago, or even previously through generational trauma. They are returned to you, and you are whole and complete. And you can start afresh, but also with the wisdom of your years. I mean, this is super lovely. I'm seeing you calling in, look, with this pipe. I'm seeing you calling in, and the deer, gentle people, people who resonate with you. Yeah, look at that, you have the Magician. I mean, this is the card of the Alchemist. Gosh, there's a whole new chapter of empowerment coming for you, my beautiful power ones. This is one very exciting time. We have the Four of Swords, which is a card of meditation. It's like, get still. Gosh, meditation, being able to be calm. And look at that, you have the Ten of Cups. This is the card of joyous, happy families. Absolute joy of what more can I say? It's joy, it's happiness, it's emotional fulfillment, and we see a happy family. I think you're going to find your soul family, or have a soul union with somebody, and you'll create a soul family together. Or, you know, you'll find your tribe in some way, shape or form. However it is, you are going to find the right people. The right people are coming in. You are also letting go of some kind of circumstances that is definitely past rather than present. And in letting it go and releasing it and becoming whole again, you manifest a pretty, you manifest the right people. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous, whether this is a soulmate because we have lovers, or it's overall the right community. However we look at it, this is just magical. And even the Page of Wands is a card of manifestation. It's creativity, it's promise, it's spark, it's, that fire and that passion within, the excitement of life. Something is being returned to you, and it really is at a core level of soul. Wow, this is what the universe is currently trying to tell you through the circumstances that are going on around you, my beautiful pile one. What a magical reading. Now, speaking of finding souls to connect with, I do just want to let you know that at the time of doing this reading, my tarot course, which is very much a journey of soul evolution, is available half price. So if you're interested in learning to read to a professional level, potentially to read as part of a professional body of people, we are building an international, I see us as an international voice of light. My readers work within an ethical framework. The course is in production, which is why it's possible for you to join at a reduced rate, and I have really reduced it at the moment, for a variety of reasons, mainly at the time of doing this reading in kind of honour of my mum who passed over, and I have inherited some of her cards, which has been amazing. Not these, I did a reading just last week with her cards, but beautiful souls, this is very much a tribe of people. We are a collective, and we recognise that we can collectively make a difference. So if you are wanting to learn to read and this is really singing to you, the idea of this, do check out my course. But thank you, irrespective of that, thank you for being here. Beautiful souls, if you would like to make sure you never miss a reading, please subscribe and press the little bell icon. And thank you so much for sharing, letting people know about the channel. For those of you, thank you, who give back through the super thanks, and some of you have been making donations. And thank you, all of you who are on Patreon. You really do support me and my free online library and all the things that I do and put into the world for free. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and also the YouTube members here. Tons and tons of love to you all, Pile One. Wow, this is a monumentally big turning point for you. It really is. It's like a whole new life unfolding for you, and I am truly thrilled. Pile 2, welcome to your readings. Let's just make sure that is in focus for you. I hope that's working. Yeah, I think so. Okay, weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Very interesting. When I dowsed for the crystals for today's readings, that I knew that carnelian was for pile 2. That was before I drew the cards. And carnelian gives you the energy to persevere, to see something through, to get to the finish line. And the weight of the world is really a card that is asking you ultimately to look after you. So let's find out, what this is about for you. What is the universe trying to tell you? Let's draw your oracle cards first, and then we'll draw tarot cards. May I kindly ask for guidance and information? Seeing these two, and also, yeah, it is this one for my lovely pile 2s. We have Lion, higher calling. You have within you all the courage you need. Let go of the past and reclaim your majesty. You will find success and contentment with those by your side. Make noble choices for your life and your tribe. Okay. Then we have guilt. Aha. Impasse. And forgiveness. This is very, very interesting. Now, I am actually going to draw your tarot cards first before we really say too much, but I feel there is something that you are needing to, I think the universe, if it hasn't already, I think it's going to deliver something that requires you to stop or to take a different route. Very interesting at the time of doing these readings that we are in a Mercury retrograde period. So there's a lot of energy of review and reflection, stuff being brought back up from the past that we need to perhaps address and let go of. Let's see what else we are shown. I'm seeing this one. I think it's all 3 of those. Let's find out what your cards are saying, my beautiful pile 2. We have Power Lodge of the Pipes. Beautiful, yes. Okay. Yeah, now a Sacred Sweat Lodge. Wowzer. Okay, and the Pipes is the Wands in this pack of cards. We have the 5 of Bowls. I am seeing you walking away. I think you're being asked to walk away from something. Actually, not to be, and what I'm hearing is not to be drawn in by something or hooked into something. We have the 8 of Stones. Okay, so this is 8 of Pentacles. Okay. What else do you have, my beautiful pile 2s? We've got resources. We've got the Moon. Beautiful grandmother moon. How very, very appropriate at this beautiful time of the moon month with these new moon readings. We then have Seeker, which is the high priestess. So we have the grandmother's moon, the Seeker, which is the high priestess, the warrior, which is the chariot. We have the 3 of cups. We have balance, which is justice. Okay, then we have, I think we need to move these along. I don't think we're going to get any more in just here at the moment, but we can put these up here. We have the 6, oh how beautiful, the 6 of Wands, which is a card of success. And such a gentle energy being shown here. And the 9 of Cups, wowzer. Okay, right, I feel like actually what's happening is there may be a bit of a stalemate situation around you. Something that feels as though there's either conflict or a difference of opinion, but something feels rather stuck, as if it's blocked with impasse coming in here. And I think part of the blockage maybe is that I almost feel like you're being blocked for some of you. Let's just really sit with your energy. Maybe you are in a place of indecision, worrying about getting it right for everybody because otherwise people make you feel guilty. The card of forgiveness does indicate a really happy outcome. It's, you know, it's not exactly a fairy tale ending, but like a dream come true. And you couldn't have two cards that are more indicative of success. So what I feel the universe is trying to tell you is probably quite specific to a situation that's going on around you. And I think there are, maybe you're feeling like it's a bit of an endurance test. You're wondering if you're going to get to the end. How, you know, maybe you're carrying quite a lot of responsibility. Now, you're actually being asked in a really, really powerfully positive way to actually let go of anything that isn't yours to carry. You know, the bits that are yours, then by all means carry them and respond to them. But the bits that aren't, don't. Put them down. Let go of stuff that is not yours to carry. Also, don't fuel and fund people when they should be standing on their own 2 feet. You know, with resources, the Magician, you're going to get everything that you need will come to you, and you do actually have the power of choice within this situation. I think you're struggling to make choices that honour you. Maybe you're trying to take too many people into account, or everybody into account. Now, our beautiful grandmother moon is absolutely trying to illuminate you. And while you sleep, look at her sprinkling like little nuggets of fairy dust into your dreams. And with the High Priestess, look at her looking in the mirror. Look at yourself and see what is yours to carry and what isn't. There is a really good little tool here that you can use, and you can use this around the house, or you can go out into nature. Personally, I love going out into nature and doing this. My mentor taught me this. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. That you get a cup or a bowl or something, you know, any kind of vessel that can hold something, even a bag, and you walk around your house, or walk around, you know, as I say, go out in nature. For me, I love to do that. The last time I did this, I walked through some woodland. And each time you think about the things that are troubling you, or the things that you feel that you are obligated to carry, or this, you know, if there's a list in your mind of all the things you think you oughtn't to be doing. And for each one of them, pick up an object. Like, you know, it could be a pine cone or a twig or a leaf. But if you're walking around your house, it could be, you know, if you have crystals, it could be a stone. It could be, you know, anything. It could be a pencil, you know, a piece of paper. It could be anything that is lying around. And for each of the concerns or worries, pick it up and put it into your bowl or your bag. And then when you have filled it with all the things that are on your mind, sit down and really get yourself very centered. A bit like being in the lodge. Get really, really, really centered, and ask for guidance and support. And just really get still and take each one of those concerns, worries, obligations out of your bag or your bowl at a time, and ask yourself, is this mine to carry? You know, is it my responsibility to be picking this up? Is it my responsibility to be going the extra mile? You know, really think about it. It's lovely to go the extra mile, but actually, if you are depleting yourself while you're doing it, then you're going to be no good to anybody. You know, this is one of those cards here, Weight of the World, that sort of says you need to put your oxygen mask on first, and then you can help everybody else, because you'll be in a position to do so. And that's the kind of theme of your reading. The universe is actually, I think, creating situations that cause you to stop. And the reason you are being stopped is because Source, Spirit, your spirit team wish you to look after you. There's some stuff you're doing where you're carrying more than is yours. So stop, get still, have your bowl of bits, ask, take each one out and say, is this mine to carry? And really think about it. If it is not yours to carry, put it to one side. And if it is, put it to the other side. By the time you have finished, the ones that are definitely yours to carry, put them back in your cup or your bowl. And then you can attend to those and those only. I remember the first time I did this, it was a real it was like a proper good look in the mirror. It was like, come on, Jenny, really look at this. How many things do you carry that are not yours? And it was remarkable. I had this great big bowl of things, and by the time I'd finished, do you know there were only 3 things left in that bowl? And each of those was really manageable for me. You know, and it really helped me to recognize that I was responding to things like feeling guilty rather than what was right. And, you know, so it was a really, really important exercise. And I feel this is what the universe is bringing circumstances into your world at this time to try and get you to really evaluate what is yours and what isn't, and really own your own empowerment, to walk away from things that no longer serve you, that are not yours to engage with. And you can really work through this with the 8 of Pentacles here. You can process this. You can regain your power, lion, higher calling. You have within you all the courage you need, so you can say no to some people. Maybe you find it really hard to say no. You can say no. It's fine. Let go of the past and reclaim your majesty. Reclaim your entitlement. You will find success and contentment with those by your side. Make noble choices for your life and your tribe. And noble choices don't mean that we pick things up that aren't ours, because in a funny kind of way, we deprive people of the opportunity to step up into their fullest potential, even if they desperately want you to do something for them. Even if they would really, really, really like you to carry everything for them, because that makes their life easy. Ironically enough, it really doesn't help them, because it keeps them stuck. And they will not discover that they really can do things if they are not put in a position where they almost like sometimes have to. There's something of this flavour around your reading pile too. Grandmother Moon will come to you in your dreams. And this is time to take a really good look at what is yours and what isn't. And this is what the universe is trying to tell you, and this is what this new moon is bringing for you. And things are going to shift. You are to step up into this place of empowerment, of your own sovereignty. And what's really lovely with the 3 of Cups, because this is such a card of friendship, collaboration, harmony, and then we have justice, balance, is that actually I think you're going to be really, really, really pleasantly surprised. And you're going to find that when you say no to people, even if you were really fearful that that would be a problem, it's not going to be a problem. You know, I would liken it actually, I would, you know, use a situation, you know, those of you that follow my readings, and if you're watching this as I've uploaded it, you know, you'll know my mum passed very, very recently, literally. You know, I was letting you know about this just a few readings ago. And you know, part of my sharing that with you, you know, aside from the fact that we are a really beautiful community, and I thank you so much for all the love that you have been sending and support. But, you know, it was also to say to you, you know, at the moment, I am really, really loving almost like coming back to work and sitting in the light and reading for you. I'm feeling really good in this place. I really, really am. But if I find I have a day, because grief comes in waves, if I have a day when I'm not okay, then, you know, I'm not going to do a reading that day. You know, and I know that that's really, really okay. You know, and so many of you have already said, Jenny, if you need to take time out, take time out. And, you know, it's like, it's really interesting, because I think there is a pull for all of us. You know, even though I logically know that it's really okay to take time out, you know, a part of me would probably feel that I was letting you guys down if I didn't. You know, it's really interesting. And yet I know you have been sending so much love. But, you know, we are all human. Even when we know this stuff, it's still present for us. It just is. And so, you know, in a way, it's a kind of a good example of how, you know, actually letting you all know of that was a really important thing to do, you know, and then, you know, the love and support you sent me was just wonderful. So it's kind of like, I feel for you, you are needing to look after you. Okay, and I think if you say no to some things, you will be very, very pleasantly surprised by the support and the outcome that you get of people wanting to empower you to be balanced and really, really support you. I feel that's what's going to happen. We just have success and more success here. This is what is coming through. This is absolutely lovely, and this is what the universe is trying to tell you. So anything that's going on that causes a kind of a stop in something or a break in something, and remember at the time of doing these readings, Mercury is in retrograde, so we get a lot of opportunities that show up that often do take us on a diversion or cause an interruption in our worlds. The purpose is to slow us down. You know, humanity is not supposed to race through life, at 90 miles an hour. We are meant to, spend time connecting. And, there are times to go, 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 but there are also times to be still, still, still. I'm going to draw just a few more cards for you, just to check out whether we have any more information coming through, or perhaps with this increased empowerment, how will things be for you? Can we have any indication here? Look at this. You have the Chariot again. I think this is just telling you, showing up twice, that if you take time out, you will move forwards far more quickly. In fact, I think it is a statement. You will move forwards far more quickly if you take time out than if you don't. I know I'm an Aries star point, and I know that I'm very much sort of aim and fire and then think about it afterwards. I get an idea and I kind of go for it. And actually, so I know, part of my own learning is to slow down and look at what I'm doing sometimes. And sometimes I'll get a day when I'm really fired up and excited, but things don't run to plan. And I've had days when I've pushed and pushed through and nothing has kind of worked. And then the next day I've been replenished and got up and everything has run smoothly. And then retrospectively, I think, why didn't I just stop yesterday and take a day out? Because it was obviously not meant to be. I should have listened. And I think we all have to learn to live in a more responsive way. And, me included. I mean, I think all of us included. Look at this, Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I think if you take time out, you will come back replenished and rewarded and fresh and ready to go. And whatever you are working on, the High Priestess, how interesting, we have the High Priestess showing up twice and the Chariot showing up twice. My beautiful souls, I'm just going to say you'll be guided. So in exactly the same way that I was sort of saying, if I have a day when I don't feel like I'm in the zone to read, I won't read. And if I am, I will. I feel the same principle applies to you. In something that you are doing or working on or working with, truly, honestly, you will be guided. So if something comes up to stop something, trust that you're meant to stop. If something comes up that is an intervention or a blockage, trust that it's taking you on a diversion you're meant to go on, and take it slowly and gently. It just means you weren't meant to go directly to, in a direct line. You were meant to take a windier route. I think you are being beautifully guided, and I think you will see something through as well. There'll be something that you see through to the finish line with Carnelian, but you will come back replenished. You will get exactly what you need in order to do this. The resources will come to you. So if you need time away, or you need to stop, you need to take a breather, do so. The real key here is to do with doing things out of guilt or obligation. Do things because you feel joyous about it. Like me coming in and doing the readings, I'm feeling fabulous about doing these readings. If I wasn't, I wouldn't do them. It's really important that we give ourselves that permission. So, I'm going to try and be a role model for you in this way, and really, really, say to you, whatever you are working on, whatever you are trying to persevere with, you'll get to the finish line, but you'll be so much better, and it will come so much more quickly if you get to the finish line by taking the windy road rather than the straight road, and keeping your world in balance. This is your reading, my beautiful souls. Now, a quick update on my tarot course for anyone that's wanting to always thinking about maybe signing up. So my tarot course is very much a journey of soul evolution. It is still in production, which is why it's at a reduced rate, but I have reduced it even further at the moment, very much in honour of my mum's passing. We really are building an international community of light. My readers work within an ethical framework. We have very, very, very big dreams for the future as to, to set up a body of readers that people can access. So if you're interested in working professionally, this could be a course that interests you. A body of readers where people can find, somebody and know that they are genuine. There are tons of amazing genuine readers out in the world, but there are also scammers, and I do integrate all of the counselling and psychotherapy knowledge that I have from my, my mainstream career into this course and into the readings. Obviously, I've slowed down on that as well, appropriately so. But it's there. If you're interested, do check it out and sign up if that's appealing to you. And my beautiful souls, don't forget, if this is resonating, please give me the thumbs up. If you want to make sure you never miss a reading, do subscribe, press the little bell icon, and I am wishing you an amazing time. This is like reclaiming your power, really, and your entitlement to look after you above and beyond anyone else, knowing that you will then have an abundance to give to others. So yeah, I'm resonating with this myself. I'm really fully aware of it. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here, liking, sharing, subscribing, all the things you do, commenting, giving back in the super thanks. And just thank you so much, my beautiful souls. Tons of love. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. We're going to be asking, what is the universe trying to tell you? Now, I have to just share something that's happened that I think is kind of quite exciting, really, because this has just happened right outside my window as I was just tuning into your card and getting my space ready to do your reading. I literally just saw, like when you get like a little mini whirlwind, and I've seen it happen in the fields where it picks up bits of straw and they circle, and it's not like a tornado, but it is just like a little mini whirlwind. And I just saw it literally gather right outside my window. I've never seen that before here. It was just, I guess, dust, but I kind of found that really, really interesting. It just sort of like flared up and then it settled. And I'm wondering, because Sirius Energy Messenger is about bringing harmony and balance. It's about bringing together a balance as well between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I don't know what that message was. It kind of made me think, is there going to be like a whirlwind romance if we're talking about the divine masculine and divine feminine? Or is there a whirlwind going on and it feels like suddenly lots of stuff is all over the place and you've got to bring it back into balance? I don't know. Let's find out. Interesting that blue calcite is a very calming energy. So let's find out, what is the universe trying to tell you, my dear ones? What is the universe trying to tell you? We have lizard regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. Okay, so something is transforming. That's what we're seeing here. Something is, I guess, transforming, crystallizing. I'm seeing the crystals here. Something is to crystallize. Gosh, you have a very, very, very exciting energy around you. Okay, well, that's one card for you for sure. That is another. May I kindly ask for one more? There it is for you, my pile 3s. We have faith. Okay, discover and soulmates. This is very, very exciting. So I think we were tuning in to the right energy to start with, the masculine and the feminine coming together. Have faith. Look at the crystals here. Look at the amethyst crystals here. This is absolutely, something is to crystallize. And we have the card of discover. What is the universe trying to tell you? Maybe I feel in your case, what is the universe trying to show you? I think with lizard as well, lizards very much take us into the dream time. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. I think something is to emerge in your world. The universe is trying to tell you, I think, that, trying to tell you something. Let's get more cards. Let's get more cards and find out what this is about. May we kindly get more information. What is the universe trying to tell my pile 3s? What is the universe trying to tell my pile 3s? We'll look at these and we may well draw more. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. There's a lot of celebration going on here. I feel like someone is being gifted with something here. Lots of fives. Five of Pentacles. 5 of Arrows, which is the 5 of Swords. And the Seeker, which is the High Priestess. Okay, now this did come out in some of the other readings. I think it was both of them actually. So if you were drawn to any of the other readings, there may well be a message for you. We have Rebirth. Oh yes. Apprentice of Arrows. We have Judgment, Discernment. We have the Totem of Bowls. And this is the, I believe it's the Page of Cups. I'm just going to check on this actually. Dolphin, the Swimmers. You're being asked to go with the flow on something here. If just listening to all that joy, that's like a children, oh, they're just delightful. It's beautiful, beautiful. Do you know what? Talk about the divine masculine and the divine feminine. 2 beautiful little souls have just charged past my window, and they're toddlers. They're literally at that tiny age, but one little girl and one little boy. Just a lot of divine, obviously we all have the divine masculine and the divine feminine in us all. You know, this is non-gender specific. But I think something is... Yeah, I think something is to crystallize for you. I think this may, for some of you, be a relationship reading. That's what I think. I think there could be a soulmate around you. Now, whether this is friendship, a business partnership, or, you know, the love of your life, an intimate partnership. But I think, actually, that there is an energy around you of someone, and I think you will be extremely well balanced. You won't be the same, but you will also mirror things within one another. Look at the imagery here with faith and discovery. Yeah, I think this is actually almost certainly a relationship reading, but I'm not sure what, obviously it could be any kind of relationship for you, but I think there is this is a relationship reading. You're meant to come together, and I think this is someone you already know. Either that it's someone you may have actually been dreaming of. You may actually in your dreams have been catching a glimpse of someone. And if that is the case, then that person will soon be coming into your world. With Rebirth, if you are in a really, really lovely relationship, there may be a baby coming into your world. I kind of feel like this is it's either a new relationship or a new phase of relationship as well, because if you're in an existing relationship, it could be that your relationship is upgrading. You move to another level of commitment or another level of awareness or connectedness, another level of balance. But I do think it is a relationship reading. With the Apprentice of Arrows, I think you're having to there's something you're having to learn here. So you're processing something. It's like, I think you do need to go with the flow with the Totem of Bowls. And even with the Seeker, the High Priestess, we see a river flowing, a stream. I think this is something that you need to allow it to unfold and let it go with the flow. This is where you need to trust and have faith. Rather than trying to force something, trying to make it move to the next level, or if it's brand new, trying to define it too quickly. None of that is really going to sort of be working properly. This is about going with the flow, being adaptable, allowing yourself to discover the possibility of this. But I think this is a connection that's going to crystallize, and it has to find its own way. It's got to find its own journey. Let's draw more cards here and see what else we're shown here. May we kindly ask for more cards? I mean, this is what the universe is trying to show you here. It's trying to show you, especially with the new moon, even if things are a little bit intense, it's trying to show you that there is this. I think this connection is absolutely loaded with possibility. I think it is someone that you can trust, and I think it is a connection that has a journey ahead of you. I think, you know, you can, maybe maybe there are some fears connecting to the past, you know, as in your past, maybe even some insecurities or, you know, around, can you really trust this person? But I think this is a connection that you are meant to pursue. We have 7 of arrows. Okay. Very interesting. 7 of swords. Look at the book here. Isn't that interesting? I always trust everything that shows up in a reading is arriving. I'm just going to bring this card out for us too. But, you know, we have a vehicle. I don't know if you could hear that outside reversing, you know, and I just feel that. So maybe, are you revisiting? Are you reconnecting with someone that you've met before? For some of you, that could be the case. Someone coming back into your world. If there's been some distance between you, perhaps you are needing to do an about turn, reverse, in order to bring something back into balance. Apprentice of Bowls, this is Page of Cups. There is so much promise here. So much promise. It could, I think that there's also perhaps a return through the meeting of this person. There may even be a return to a soul connection. And there could even be a return to a period of time when you have, I don't know, like going back to childhood. Maybe, yeah, because we're also at the time of doing this reading, you know, we have a Mercury in retrograde influence, so there's a lot of reflection. Maybe you need to reflect and go back over something. Perhaps the reflection is going back to your past. The Apprentice of Arrows is firing backwards in order to then develop and recognize that you have choice now. You can be discerning. But I think perhaps you're fearful of moving forwards, of making a commitment, when in reality you always have choices. You always have an opportunity to be discerning. If you make a decision about something, you can make another decision tomorrow and another decision the week after. Well, every day, every minute, we make choices and decisions. I think this is acknowledging, that's what the universe is trying to tell you, that there is something that is worth discovering here. It's something that is worth going with the flow and finding out, with the recognition that when you begin to find out, it'll be a learning curve, it'll be a journey. But I think as you do, you're going to discover an awful lot, actually. And I think there is a lot of promise here. There really, really is. Perhaps this really is that whirlwind romance, or something happens very, very quickly, in which case that's fine if your feelings are stirred, especially with the Page of Cups. I mean, you know, this means your feelings are stirred, and I mean, this is a card that's very, very romantic. If your feelings have been stirred, well, how exciting. Go with the flow. Go and discover, find out. You know, you make choices all the way along, you know, we all do. So, but I think something is going to crystallize from this. So I sort of want to say, enjoy the moment, enjoy and treasure what you have in the moment. I wonder as well, beautiful souls, whether this point of crystallization, this point of potential here, I feel like maybe a part of you is really wanting it, wanting to go discover it, wanting to move it forwards. I think another part of you might also, maybe with the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords here, maybe you are fearful of someone taking more than they give. Perhaps you've had a relationship before, because this is a card, as a survivor you are unparalleled. You know, embrace your transformation, put on your new cloak. I wonder whether you have in the past almost had to protect yourself, and whether that's protecting literally resources, Maybe you've had relationships where someone took advantage of you and of your resources and you didn't come out very well. Or maybe it could be of your energy. Maybe you were, met a bit of an energy vampire. I think maybe there is some anxiety around engaging fully with this, and yet you're being asked to have faith. Let yourself discover this. You have the opportunity to make choices along the way. This is time to sort of literally to be able to be I almost want to say be laid bare, like this little baby here, like those two beautiful young souls that ran past my window, and the whirlwind. This is the reading today, actually, out of the 3 readings, where loads of external stuff is going on. It's like we've had the whirlwind, we've had those beautiful youngsters running past, shrieking with joy. We've had then a recycling vehicle arriving and reversing and all this. I'm wondering whether this is a bit like a pattern, like perhaps it feels like a whirlwind happening. Something feels like it could happen quite fast, and then maybe you're kind of like reversing and backtracking, but you're kind of weeping with joy at the same time. But then you're going over, recycling things, going over and over stuff. I wonder whether we really are being shown quite a lot of stuff that might be going on within your world and within your mind and your thoughts and your experiences, and yet your reading is really saying, look, try to let go of some of that and just dive in. Look at the dolphin, the swimmers. Dive in. Let this unfold. Discover. And then through the discovery, you will then know actually whether you want this to crystallize or not. You're not going to know how real this is. The Page of Cups, it's an energy of romance and excitement and, the sort of like, those sort of all those imaginings of what could be. And sometimes when we go into the territory of what could be, we can imagine all the most exciting things, but we could also imagine some of the things, all our worst fears as well. So I feel this is the kind of energy that's around, and this is the message. It really is go with the flow. Let's draw some more cards and find out what else we're shown. How might this unfold? Can we be given a sneaky peek as to how this might unfold? We have the Chariot, which does suggest that this could unfold quite quickly, actually. Kind of seeing this, and this, and this, and this, and that one just there. Okay. Yeah, I think with the Chariot, this could unfold quite quickly. Whether it unfolds quickly so that you make a decision. And look at this. We have the 6 of Pentacles, which is lovely because this is a card of great generosity and balance. I think this connection will be one that's genuinely one of mutuality. It's the balance of the divine masculine, the divine feminine. Non-gender specific, whether this is a working alliance, where it will be beautifully fair and balanced, whether it's a friendship, whether it's an intimate partnership, whether it's upgrading an existing relationship. Look at this, you have the Lovers too, so you have the 6 of Pentacles, which is a card of great generosity, of giving and receiving in a mutual way. We have the card of the Lovers. Oh, we have the Hierophant. Oh, my goodness me. We have the 4 of Wands, and then we have, how interesting, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Now that's a very interesting card to see at the end of this, because this story is really telling us that you will, you make a commitment. Both the Hierophant is about tradition, potentially committing to something. It can indicate marriage. The 4 of Wands can indicate marriage and a commitment and a celebration. So this is all looking an amazing connection. Let's find out about the 5 of Pentacles here. Very interesting, you have the 5 of Pentacles here, and we see somebody being gifted, and again a celebration. And yet in this traditional pack, we sort of see someone sort of out in the cold here. Let's get a little bit more information about the 5 of Pentacles. It could be telling us that a time of isolation is over, but let's just check out. May we kindly ask about the 5 of Pentacles? What is it that this card is showing? Ooh, okay. Okay, we've got the Sun. Okay. we've got the Seven of Pentacles, and we have the card of Judgment. I understand. Basically, it's your choice. Actually, that's what I'm seeing here with Judgment. You know, the Seven of Pentacles is very much, you know, where we place our, where do we choose to invest? So whatever this connection is, I think you've got to set forth and discover. And, you know, rather than be afraid to discover, this is about launching into this, diving into the deep waters and immersing yourself in it and discovering with the full awareness that, you know, when it comes to commitment, I think this is about sort of almost as well negotiating. I think that's why we've got this here. For any of you that have fears around commitment, because you have in the past had difficult experiences, I think this is a relationship that's very liberating, actually, because I think it's very empowered, it's very balanced, and I think there is an equal element of choice in this. And I think part of the learning that comes through this is that there is because it's such a mutuality on equal terms here. I think this is a very liberating connection, actually. I really, really do. I think it's a liberating connection where you recognise that you have choices and the choices are respected. I think you can choose where you invest your energy, your money. I don't think you lose sight of your own investments here. May I ask about the outcome of this? We have Eight of Pipes. This is beautiful. This is the Eight of Wands. I do actually think something is going to move forwards quite quickly, actually, here. That's what we're being shown here. You see, I think this will happen quite fast. And the only way you're going to know that this is trustworthy is by diving in and discovering. I think this is almost like at the early stages of something. And for some of you, maybe it's just someone you're dreaming of. But this is really saying don't hold back. Dive in and discover. There will come a time, I think relatively quickly, when you, I think basically when you commit. But part of the committing is that you realise, and it's so crystal clear, that when you commit, it's like you still have choices. I feel, because this is very much about the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now, we have lived, you know, for hundreds of years in a patriarchal world where there is a far greater emphasis on power given to the masculine, and this is coming into balance. So I think this is a connection that honours a completely equal balance of, and as I said, it's non-gender specific, but it's basically a completely equal balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within you each. I think this is a really beautiful connection. I think it will move forwards pretty quickly. And what is so joyous about it is that I think it's like part of the learning is that I think you can actually almost expose your fears and your vulnerabilities here with the sun. You can expose those vulnerabilities. You can talk about your fears and then move through and beyond this, because I think in the discovery of this, I think you're going to realise that there are very, very different ways of being in relationship to perhaps anything you've experienced before, which is really, really, really super lovely. In many ways, this person is a messenger for you to demonstrate this possibility. Yeah, this is really, really lovely. Do keep me posted, beautiful souls. Let me know, because this connection is coming to regenerate you. And whether it is an existing connection, for some of you, even someone from the past returning, or it's someone you are currently dreaming in through the dream time, this is definitely a connection that can crystallize. You can't make it happen, because that would then be an imbalance of power on your part. You know, the moment we try and make something be what we want it to be, then we've stepped into the zone of power over others. This is a very, very enlightened connection, actually. Probably quite a big learning curve for some of you, because it's a very different way of being. But wow, I mean, I think it's a really, really super amazing reading, and I think there is something that can really take form here, which is amazing. So congratulations. And yeah, do keep me posted. Do keep me posted. I would love to hear how things are going in your world, whether this is someone you're dreaming in, having a second chance at, or starting afresh with someone new, or whatever this is definitely a relationship reading of higher values, higher awareness. I mean, you know, this is what being part of the new humanity is about, within connection and within relationship. It's magnificent. It really is. It's super fab. Beautiful souls, tons of love. I'm just going to finish up by letting you know, if you are in any way wanting to learn to read the cards, my tarot course is currently at half price. I've actually set it that way kind of in honour of my mum's passing, and it won't be for too long, but it is there if you're interested in signing up. We are building we have a very big vision, which is about building an international community of light workers who work within an ethical framework. My course integrates counselling and psychotherapy and all sorts of things into the readings, and we are aiming to build a body of tarot readers who people can come to when they're looking for readings, or indeed if you just want to learn to read for yourself, but to that kind of level. So do check it out if you're interested. There's a lot of information on a webpage that I'll put in the links below. And beautiful souls, thank you for being here. If this is resonating, do please give me the thumbs up. Let people know about the readings and the moon updates. And yeah, it's just wonderful and an honour to read for you all. Tons and tons of love, Pile 3.